What's up, guys? It's Ghost Hog, and we're watching a fighter Destiny tutorial. And this is an old fighting game for the Nintendo 64. But I really like this game, and like I want there to be more of like a community around it because with Killera, you can play a lot of Nintendo 64 games, multiplayer games online, but there's not really many games that's being like shown or provided on Clara. The games like that people play with each other is mostly come down to like Mario Kart, Super Smash Brothers, and GoldenEye, and that's pretty much it for Nintendo 64 game. And this is like one of the hidden gems of the Nintendo 64, and so everyone else likes to call it. So this is basically like a tutorial just showing off the game and how everything works. So basically, I'm gonna go ahead and switch characters real quick. That was just like me rambling. Who's a good character to use for this? We'll go with Valor.
Are you ready now?
So first and foremost, this game has it is a 3D for one. It is a 3D fighter, and it has a 4-button layout. There's your upper attack, your lower attack, which is pretty much your punch and kicks. Some moves like have B, which is B is normally punching, A is normally kicking. I'm using the PlayStation 3 controller, so my punch is square, X is kick. That's just for me. Some moves do look like they have the punch motion, not motion, but punch, like punch button, but do a kick, but that's really just, So the buttons are, of course, like I just said, punch, kick. Now these other two buttons you don't really use that often, but make sure that they're still here. Right now I'm holding the button down, but it's not doing anything right now. This is the dodge button. It dodges every single one of your opponent's attacks. Like as I'm holding it down, he's gonna try and punch me. Harari, that's what it's called. As long as I'm holding it down, I will dodge every single one of his attacks. And there's nothing he can do about it. As long as I'm not pressing anything else. Like that goes for kicks and all that too. Any move, whether it's like a combination of moves, the training dummy can only do one move at a time, like one kick at a time. But if it's multiple moves, I'll dodge every single one of them. The problem with this is, of course, you're probably thinking, wow, that's kind of broken. The problem with this is, when you're holding this, you cannot get out of throws. It will tell you cannot escape. Something else I didn't mention about the Harari is that while holding it, you can do front steps and back steps, side steps, and yeah, that's basically all you can do with it. Some characters can taunt by pressing it twice. Useless information pretty much, but in case you want to taunt your opponent. Problem with this is that sometimes you can still get caught up while pressing it and still get hit by another move. So for example, if I'm I want to sidestep it, if I do it at the wrong time, then I can still get hit by a move even though it's still being held down by the Harari. Because you're still holding down the Harari, so you're going to dodge each and every move.
Come on.
But sometimes you just have bad timing and you get hit by it. All I'm doing is holding it up. I'm gonna go this way now. I'm getting hit.
Keep going.
Getting hit by. So you see how it was every other time where I got hit. It's just the timing on it. So you need to make sure that you know when exactly you're gonna front step, back step, and side step around your opponent. while you're using it. No, personally, I haven't seen any real use for it. Is you can just backdash, and at the same time, I guess I can see where you would be able to use that to at least try and get out safely. So say you're not really comfortable being up close, even though you could do any type of like counterattack because you've got almost all the time in the world to do so. But in case you do not feel comfortable like around your opponent, you can still backdash out or at least try and sidestep for a side throw or something. And there's also a actual block button, which I'm holding down now. You can tell when you're blocking because they make this animation, or you can block low. Of course, when you're blocking high, you can be hit by lows. You're blocking low, you can get hit by highs. Now I'm blocking high. Now I'm blocking low. So yeah, that's it for the buttons. Now for the actual like game mechanics I'm getting into, here's the thing, there are 3 ways to win like in total. Well, okay, 4 ways to win in total. By a timeout, and it's weird because timeouts aren't actually like who has the most health, like after the game is over. They're based on like style points. So say like my opponent is like spamming the same move over and over again, and I'm being dumb and I'm getting hit by everything, but at the same time I'm like moving around trying to get past it, sidesteps and all that. Like they can, like, as long as I'm doing more than him, then I can still win that match when it's time up with a judge score. Speaking of the scores, the ways you can win are by knockout, and that's of course every single fighter just knock the opponent out. And that's another thing I'm going to get into. There are knockout attacks, knockdown attacks. You can win by ring out. I can't do it in training mode, but I can actually just show you real quick.
Ready! Fighter's destiny!
With the generic Ryu clone. Sorry, I still get used to the buttons sometimes.
Ready! Fight!
So basically, you're in a square arena, and you can mess with the size and the options to make the arenas different sizes. But basically, when you're close to an edge, I don't know, it's sort of like Soul Calibur, but with an extension. Like, think of this part as a mixture of Soul Calibur and like Super Smash Brothers, where you can stay on the edge, but that is also how you get like counted out. Like right now, like I'm on the edge right now. If I stay down here too long, then I'll fall, and they get 1 point for that.
Continue. You'll be back.
Another way to win, which you just saw him try to do, is to grab me. Grabs work different in this game from other fighting games because you have to grab is punch and kick buttons like at the same time, but they work differently because once you grab, you instantly get that win if you manage to get it down, and your grabs can be countered or like tech just by pressing A and B. A and B at the same time. The bar that shows up when you grab someone is the amount of time that you can like get out of that grab. And if you see in the command list, you have side hold throw, drug down fall, throw skill while hanging close to the opponents. The drug down fall is when you're on the edge and your opponent is close to you. So I can do this. I can try to like throw them off, which gives me a ring out point. speaking of which, you can also be attacked while on the edge of the ring, like I just was. Another thing with being on the edge of the ring is that you can easily get back on, and you need to get back on quick, because they can easily just attack you. You can get back on with a high, or you can get back on with the low, or just get back on. That's it. Another thing about when it comes to movements, you can also jump over your opponent by pressing forward 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Okay, no, you switch.
5, 4, 3.
It's kind of hard for me to do it on.
Time up.
See the judge score?
1 point.
I wasn't doing anything that match, so he got that point. So I'm actually gonna go back into training mode now.
Ready. Fighter's Destiny.
It was kind of hard for me to do it in the match, but by pressing forward 3 times, you can jump over the opponent. And you can do vice versa when you're behind. You actually need to be behind your opponent in order to do certain moves. But this is like character dependent. So I went over knockouts, ring outs, and grabs. Grabs will, and hers specifically, does not do like a knockdown. There are also different types of grabs too, like, where'd it go? Oh, there are lock grabs too. So when they get close, this is where you have to mash just to get out. These tend to do a lot of damage depending on how long they can still keep it going, because they can go as long as you're like, as until this bar is depleted, they can keep going. This is the Harari I was talking about earlier, where they can dodge every single one of your attacks. Let's look for something, a long string. Okay, B.
That was a very good move.
Hararis can't dodge middle attacks, apparently, as I'm just finding out. But everything else, it can dodge. Over those. Now back onto the knockdowns, like the KOs. Which, 1 second, my controller is kinda... Okay.
Keep going.
So basically, like I was saying, as I was going through my command list, I'm sure you saw what was the knockdown. So let me go back to normal.
Be careful.
The knockdown attack is an instant KO. Like, if you get hit by it, if your opponent gets hit by it, that's an instant 3 points. You need 7 points in total to win a match. Those can be adjusted in the system, well, the game settings, of course. But the knockdown moves will knock you down instantly, and you get the free points. And it seems broken, but at the same time, not. Like, almost all knockdown moves have really insane startup time. Like, it takes a while to get out, and it's obvious when it's coming because of the blue smoke. All knockdown moves have that blue smoke, or some type of effect.
Watch out. Move on. Let's do it.
And even that, you can still, like, just hold the Harari.
Watch out. Move.
So knockdown moves against, like, if you're just trying to win a match against a computer, unlock certain characters, that's not hard. But if you're going against actual people, I would never really suggest using the knockdown move, because you can just easily be punished with that. But another thing about that is, if your opponent isn't, like, all that knowledgeable about this system, and they try and block it, this puts you in a real state. And what a real state is like, I'm trying to compare it to another game. I'm not really, hold on. Where is block? That's not it. Okay, guard high. That's what it is. I'm trying to compare it to another game.
Watch out!
This right here is real. When that animation where he's getting back up, that is when your opponent's in a real state, and you can do a launcher.
Yes!
Like vertical ducking upper normally does not like launch. It'll just hit like that.
Going. Watch out! Move!
Okay, that didn't work. That's not what I wanted.
That was a very good move.
Okay, well, he recovers too quickly for me to do that one. But just know that if you hit, and this isn't the only way to get into, put your opponent into a real state. There are moves that say that this is a real attack. If you hit your opponent with this, you can start juggling them afterwards. And I'm looking right now, it doesn't seem like she really has any real attacks. Okay, except for Shoku Suiso.
Nothing to lose.
Take this off.
Good job.
Okay, that upper doesn't launch, but I know whose does. But you get the point though. When you're in that real state, certain moves, there are real moves like this one that tell you, by the way, that it did not combo. It'll tell you when something combos, by the way. Most moves not most moves real. They will always tell you when a move real. Just know your knockdowns on block will always real. But you don't have a lot of time to like do something with it. Also, some moves can be cancelled too by pressing your guard button after a
You
certain
need
hit.
to fight harder.
For example, this is aerial mode, by the way, so anything that can launch will launch, like the vertical
Nothing to
upper.
lose.
But just know you can cancel certain moves. It does not tell you which moves you can cancel though, so you gotta you need to experiment with those. But most people's crouching hard. Most people's normal jab do cancel. So just keep that in mind.
Going. Wow. Cool. Come on, let's do it.
Normally without the cancel, I could not be doing it that much.
Smart. Wow.
Okay, so that's basically it for the mechanics of the game and how everything works, except for this last thing is the Priori condition, which is special. If it looks familiar, basically this works once you've knocked out your opponent. It's just like Mortal Kombat, where you have a certain move that you can do, and it tells you in the command list which moves work. B B A B B A B.
Number one.
And this move, when you're in a match, will always grant you 4 points. Of course, you can change that in the game settings.
Going.
So I personally don't think that was a very good example of it.
Come on.
Okay, so of course you have different character now, so well, I already know his.
Number one.
So yeah, you can only do your specials when you've like knocked out. you have to knock out your opponent like the old-fashioned way, like just beat them up, and then when they're knocked out, then you can do the then you put them in the Peori condition. You can't do it any other way. Like if you do a knockdown move, you cannot, like, the knockdown is an instant win scenario. So when you knock them down with the knockdown move, you won't be able to put them in the Peori condition. It's like if you really need that extra point, then knock them out the entire way. And sort of like Mortal Kombat, hard hits, like in Mortal Kombat, any hit will knock them out. But hard hits in Fighter Destiny will knock them out. But soft hits like 2 standing jabs isn't gonna do much. The combo Jusou, for example, like you just saw, normally doesn't do anything. But as you saw, the first hit just knocked him down first. And then when you do that, it's going to be a regular knockdown point. So once you get them in this condition, you need to go for your special. The thing with this is, though, they can still move around as well. They can still jump, they can move backwards, but they can't dash, though, which is the good thing. So if you're gonna do something, you need to do something quick, because if it lasts too long, like I'm in training mode, so this is gonna last forever. But in a match, if you put them in this condition and you wait too long, they will get some of their health back, and they can keep on fighting until it's pretty much like they just get their health back and you guys continue the match. So if they come back because of that, that's your fault, and that's all on you. Again, in the Peori condition, though, as you can see, you can't escape it. And yeah, the way.
Ready.
Now, because it's an old fighter, there are of course unlockables, but you have to get those unlockables through the Master Challenge. Now, I don't know why like all the text is messed up on here, but on this emulator.
Come on.
But basically, you do these Master Challenges to unlock new moves. He gives you the description. Here are your opponents. Let chance choose your opponent, which is the rule. You understand? Challenge me, gain a skill. Beware. Blah blah. Basically, what's happening, it's not like roulette, but it goes around a circle and you press kick or punch when you want it to stop. And if it lands on a master, then you fight him for a skill. If it lands on the Joker, then you fight him and you may lose all your skills. So I'm just gonna go ahead and try it. Landed on a master, so I'm gonna fight him.
Ready. Fight.
I'm just gonna keep grabbing him, just get it out of the way.
Ready. Fight.
Because early master matches, you can just grab him. Once you get more skills, he's gonna be harder to beat.
Point one. Ready. Fight.
Like for this tutorial right now, I don't see a point in just like dragging this on, so I'm just gonna throw him.
Winner. I am impressed.
And I got a new skill. So that's basically it for this tutorial on how to play Fighter's Destiny, and you see how he's putting me in that real stance. He could do something else. And I'm gonna try grabbing him off, but I forgot.
1.1. Ready. Fight.
But that's basically just all I wanted to show you. I probably lost that skill at the end.
Fighter's Destiny.
But of course, you can.
Come on.
Back to aerials for 1 second. Of course, you can do any type of launcher. Some characters have moves where it will tell you, like, some moves will always launch. Like, I'm trying to find to see if he has one. Oh, counter moves. Counter moves are like knockdown moves, except they're faster. So instead of knockdown moves, you want to go with counter moves instead of knockdowns, because they'll get you the same amount of points. They're faster, and you're more likely to win a match with this. But counters, like moves that will always moves that will always hit you hard, will hit you into the air, or float moves. Of course, not every character has taunts. And as you can see, the Anashi will always like switch you behind if you don't want to like dash, because that is risky. Like just dashing 3 times. As you can see, because I can't always dash 3 times, and I'm using the controller. So if you don't always want to dash 3 times to jump over them, you can just Inashi hold back and press grab, and you'll switch sides. Some characters need to do this in order to do their special in the Pure Edition. So aerials, launch.
Wow! Wow! Yes! Keep going!
Yeah, of course, like any 3D fighter, you can launch them
Nothing to lose.
and just, yeah.
Nothing to lose. Wow!
I just wanted to get something besides the basic jab combo.
Wow! Keep going! Boom!
I don't know why it's like making me do the jackal thing. There we go.
Come on!
The moves that are launching now are probably, I haven't looked too far into this, but are probably counter hits that work just like counters, except they're gonna be launchers. So those are like hidden details within the game that they're not gonna come out and tell you about. You just have to do a lot of experimenting like any other fighter, see what works, and that's gonna be the end of the tutorial. I'm hoping more people will try and get into the game now, and maybe like you see it looks interesting, you may want to try it out. Play it on Kalera. I'm not sure how many servers there will be. Like, if you want to play, just go on Shoryuken forums and see about it, because I doubt there's going to be any huge community built up around this where they're going to be like, hey, you want to play Fighters Destiny? You'll probably need to go on the Shoryuken forums about this and see where that gets you. But I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. I'm sorry about all the like pauses and everything. I'm doing this live because I don't have a lot of time to like break these up into parts and just have, I don't have any good programs to like do a whole bunch of editing or whatever. Everything's been crashing. My laptop has been getting like viruses. But this isn't about me anyway. I'm trying to wrap this up. I'm sorry. Make sure to rate, comment, subscribe. Add me on Skype, BrownKey12, to play me in Fighters Destiny on Kalera. And that's gonna be it for the video. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll try to make more tutorials. Also, everything that I mentioned here works the same in Fighters Destiny 2. Just thought I'd let you know. Though most of the characters are just like not, well, yeah, they're pretty much clones of current characters. Like Federico is a clone of Leon, the character I'm using now. So
Yeah, amazing art!